Okay, so I'm gonna make this video because I kind of want to talk about sponsoring and just marketing in general. Kind of some things that I've figured out, and there's other things that will come, and there's things I'll show you later. But I'm just gonna give a brief overview again because I didn't hit record the first time. Um, so I'm sponsoring an event this weekend, and it's one of those things where you're both really busy, so it's kind of hard to touch base. So it won't. I wasn't able to really figure out what exactly he wanted, but I'll give him. We're gonna do a ton of decals, maybe some koozies. He was wanting maybe some other stuff, but we just couldn't get on the same page. So we're just gonna go with the stuff that we discussed. Something like this. I trying to market my business towards merch. So this is a pro wrestling event. One of the big things is trying to get in with wrestlers. It's really hard to get in with pro wrestlers, even at the bottom of the barrel. These guys, because everybody's going up to them. Hey, I make shirts. Hey, I make shirts. Well, great. I usually go, hey, I make shirts, hats, decals, koozies, shot glasses, mugs, caps, beanies, beer steins, thongs, whatever I can put vinyl on, I make it for you with your logo on it at a price that works for you. And, granted, I probably don't go about business the right way as far as the merch goes because I'm really low. But you got to understand, these guys don't make much off of their merch sales. A lot of weeks, they don't make anything because they don't sell anything. Hold on, I had to log into my other computer. Um, so they don't make anything some weeks off of this merch, and it's really hard to make money. It's just like a band or anything. You go to events. Some weeks you'll sell everything you have, and other weeks you ain't selling a damn thing. And you're eating ramen noodles. Some weeks you might not even be able to afford ramen noodles. But it's what they do, and these guys are really hard to get your foot in the door with him. So advertising with him or working with him on advertisement helps us. You don't ever want to get yourself in a situation where it only benefits them and there's almost no chance of you really, if you spend $300 on advertisement and you only get three people, and sometimes that's gonna happen no matter what. Um, but if there's a tenth of a percent, 1/10 of a percent that you're going to make some money or make some connections off of that, go for it. Especially if you're trading the stuff that you make for advertisement, because then you both benefit. They get stuff that they can sell and make some money. You get advertisement, and it doesn't cost you quite as much. It just it costs you a little in material and your time. More than anything, it costs you your time. But I mean, especially if you're just starting out, or depending on the time of year, you'll have all the time in the world. So it's costing you a few bucks in vinyl and maybe some blank koozies. You buy 1,000 of these in a normal color, they're like 22 cents a piece. I just ordered some today. What was it? It was like 200 and some bucks, something like that. 1,000 was like 20 $220 or something like that, because it was 22 cents a piece or whatever, 24 cents a piece. And then with vinyl, you're at like $300. You sell those at $3 a piece, that's $3,000 off a $300 investment in a little bit of time when you go to certain places. Sometimes it works. Sometimes, and depending on what you put on those, you can take them from event to event. You're not maybe going to sell all 1,000 of them. mean, fuck, even if you sold them for $1 a piece, that's $1,000 of a $300 investment. That's like what? Include your time and stuff. Let's call it $600 profit. It's really low because if you want to be generous, it's 700 and some almost $800 profit, or whatever. But you're somewhere between $600 and $700 in profit for $300 cash investment and a couple hours in time. I mean, you got a 15 by 15 heat press. I can get like 3 or 4 by 3 or 4, so I can get like 8 or so, eight or 12, whatever. I can get like 8 to 12 of them on a heat press. I haven't tried it, so I don't know. My math's probably way off. But you go to fairs and flea markets, your main concern should be just breaking even because there's thousands of people that walk through those. A good majority of them have businesses or work for somebody who is a small business is going to need vinyl. So give them stuff that they can have for free, stuff that they can buy. It's all about advertising. It's basically free advertisement. Once you break even, it's free advertisement after that, and it shouldn't take much to break even on most shows. I mean, it really depends on how you price your stuff. Some shows you're gonna have to price your stuff way in the toilet. Other stuff you can jack it to the sky. And you go to a high-end craft show, you can charge out the nose for probably charge $8 for a koozie. Most of the time, I'm gonna charge $1 to $3. Some shows I get $1 to $3 for a decal. Other shows I get $5, $6, 8, 10, depend. I more worry about anymore. Once I break even, I don't care, and it's not too hard to break even at most shows because it's like if you don't count the food and the gas to get there, which I usually don't, because it's something I'm going to anyways. It's the main cost I worry about is what it costs me to get in. It's nice to cover your gas and your food for the weekend, and it costs me about $120 to do most shows, and I make that fairly easy. But it sometimes takes me the whole weekend, but that's all I make. I might make $20 or $30 profit. But what you have to look at is how many thousands of people came by, seen your booth, took a card, took a koozie with your name on it, took a cup with your name on it, whatever. And maybe they don't need anything right now, or maybe they want something custom, or what you were selling they didn't want. But they're going to need a magnet for their truck for their construction company, or a sign for their little consignment shop or their mechanic shop, or whatever the case may be. Lettering for fleet vehicles like semis and tow trucks, and you can make good money off DOT letters. Just a few letters, a few cents worth of vinyl, and you can charge 10, 15, $20 a truck. I would charge $20 to do a set of DOT letters. So there's one for each side of the truck. It takes you like 2 minutes to put it on. If you count the cutting, the weeding, the taping, you're at less than 10 minutes to make $20. How many people don't even make $20 an hour? Well, most people don't make $20. And a lot of those places are doing several trucks. You're really on average, most most of those places are paying quite a bit to do logos and stuff. And most of the time when you're doing DOT letters, you're also putting the business name on there and everything. So at one time they'll buy several $100 worth of stuff, and then you charge them X amount on top of it for uh, uh, installation fee. And I mean, you know, I don't. A lot of times, I don't even charge a design fee. I don't charge nearly as much as other people for my stuff. Period. It's just how I do things. I'm below market value, but I'm higher than Joe Blow with a craft cutter who sells stuff on Facebook and overcharges by a long shot with cheap vinyl. But you go to a flea market and say you take, depending on the flea market, I probably wouldn't take my cutter, but going to a fair, I will. Cut stuff on site. That usually helps uh, break even. Um, but you go to a flea market and it's like 50 bucks to set up, something like that. 50, 60 bucks. Well, no. No, it's less than that. I think it's like $35 or $40, something like that. At Rutledge, and What's Yours 3 times a year, and it's $150, and Rutledge is cheaper. Rutledge is 40, right around $40, something like that. It's like a 2 hour drive or so into Missouri. But I go down there, and most of those rednecks, they have farms, they have, they need stuff on, they have construction companies or whatever, gun shops. There's a lot of people with gun shops, and they sell hunting dogs, and you name it. And they all need decal stuff, and it's just a matter of getting your name